The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. So I watched Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. It was 6 episodes long. And before I get into it, the news surrounding it, or the commentary surrounding it, is that it is terrible. That's been the general consensus. It's terrible. Also, it spent too much money. It spent more money than Barbie and Oppenheimer. I don't think Barbie and Oppenheimer combined, but Barbie or Oppenheimer. And I'm not even sure that's entirely true because, they're not factoring in the marketing. And Barbie had a very excessive market, but they also had a lot of licensors come in. I don't know, whatever. It costs too much money. I think that's fine. I point taken. I don't think there's a lot of disagreement there that, the costs seem to be out of control. And watching the series, I can see where some of the costs went, for sure, but it didn't have. I don't know. It didn't look like it should be that expensive. I guess I'll put it that way. But it was nice to see a show that had limited green screens, or less green screens than a lot of what Disney is doing. Because some of the shows are just excessively. It looks very much on a set, including, by the way. I understand the technology is really cool, but some of the Mandalorian and Boba Fett, it does look cool, but you can tell at times, and of course you can, because they're on another planet. I mean, so that it's going to be CGI and other things going on there. But anyway, Secret Invasion, watch that series, and here, my perspective, and I think this is one of those things where if you're told something is really, really good, oh my God, this is the best show ever. It's incredible, hasn't been anything like it, and then you watch it, and you're like, I don't see the big deal. Even if it's pretty good, your expectations are set so high that you're like, okay, okay, come on, it wasn't that good. You can almost go in looking for, why it's not as good as it is. With Secret Invasion, the expectations were set low, and kind of the opposite happened with me. This is not my favorite, like, oh, wow, this is a great show. I recommend it to everyone. It wasn't. And I'll throw one more thing on there. I watched it on a plane. So I binged it, watched it all at once. I just hadn't gotten to it. And then I got on a plane and I had, 6 hours. And I went through it. It didn't take 6 hours to watch. But anyway, it wasn't bad in my perspective. And so I'm trying to understand why. Because the people who reviewed it poorly, who said it wasn't good, I trust their opinions. I do generally agree with kind of their perspectives, and I can even see what they say. And so we can get some of the stuff kind of the out of the way early. It did seem like the show was puzzled to exactly where it was going. It wanted to build up a massive threat, but it never really felt too much. The battles and the general kind of moments of conflict happened too small, if that makes any sense. It happened, when like the president gets attacked. Okay, hang on a second. Spoilers. At this point, if you haven't watched it, now we're going to spoil it thoroughly. Okay, so the show had a conflict of itself. It was as a spy thriller show, with a little bit of a who can you trust. It works, but it raises stakes of this, that we're going to annihilate all human life on Earth. And we never really get the scenes or the moments that pay that off. So James Bond would have those kinds of things, but you'd get these kind of orchestrated big moments. And you never really got that here. The second problem I think you have is that the show seemed confused as to whether it wanted to be a spy thriller or whether it wanted to be kind of a commentary on old age and aging with Nick, because they went to that well way too often. He's old. Like that, like every episode was a he's old. And in more than half the episodes, they also wanted to tell a little social commentary on black guys had to work harder than white guys. White guys got handed power. Black guys had to struggle to take it. So black guys should help each other out, help a brother out. That was in there as well. And it the first time they did it with Rhodey and with Nick, it actually kind of worked between the two. But then they went back to that well a couple times. And they seemed like they kind of wanted to make some commentary about racism and acceptance, and they throw in little lines like, if the humans can't get along with each other, how are they gonna integrate with Skrulls and Green? It just it wore thin. Amelia Clark, character, Guyan. Um, I I I don't know that that character was needed in this show, and I think you could have, with the exception that she's the MacGuffin at the end, you could kind of excise her from this show, and I think you might have a better show or a more focused show. Ben Middleton is there, and he's doing good things. And I like him as a character. I enjoy watching him, and he feels like he's kind of wasted in service of trying to get Amelia Clark over. That's how it felt. Kinsley Benadir, who he was very good, I think, in the series. I liked him. I liked his presence. He felt threatening. I liked what he did as a villain, but again, he was trying to juggle. I'm trying to annihilate the world with, the kind of small thinking scenes. Like you can't, you can't ever really feel like this is a big threat. They did I'd say fair job of explaining why the Avengers and the other heroes didn't just come into the picture. But it did get to a point, right? Especially when you're at the last episode and they're doing a bit of a Hail Mary to give Amelia Clark, Super Skrull powers, basically, and they wind up giving Kingsley powers simultaneously. That final battle sucked. The CGI of kind of Amelia having a Drax arm and some of the other things, it was, they're showing off some Captain Marvel powers from time to time, and I don't know, that whole bit felt like, how can we show a Super Skrull like fight on the cheap? And that's where all the money that was spent kind of makes you crazy, because some of those scenes were pretty bad, and they didn't show up well. But all in all, the thing is, when I go and watch a Marvel movie or a Marvel series, I don't expect that I'm getting James Bond. I don't expect that I'm getting a masterpiece. I'm hoping for something that is, just kind of entertaining. Things that work for me in this series. I think that the runtime of the episodes, which were kind of 35 minutes, 40 minutes and done, was a relief. There's, as these shows are getting more popular, I mean, like the last season of Stranger Things had a bunch of episodes of like an hour and a half, 2 hours an episode for the tail of the last season. And it felt nice to just have something that was kind of in a 40 minute runtime. It helped. It helped kind of keep things moving. I didn't mind the big shock ending that they did for a couple of the episodes. Several of the episodes, most notably Kobe Smulders and Maria Hill in the first episode gets killed. I didn't mind that. I mean, it feels like kind of a waste to be throwing away some of these characters like they were, but it was still the idea of doing a spy thriller and have it being serialized and doing kind of a shock end fit the comics. It felt like kind of what comics do, and I appreciated that. I thought that was fun. So, like I said, wasteful, but still okay. Olivia Colman, who played the MI6 version of Nick Fury. I don't know. I love the hell out of that character. I liked her delivery. I liked that she did what she did. I liked that she was ruthless. The scene of her going in to kind of torture the guy to get information out, great. Absolutely great. Love that. And I can easily see, as Sam Jackson is getting older, like have her in doing kind of wet work ops. It's fun. It's funny as they're building up other characters in the MCU, most notably Elaine from Seinfeld. I know. As they're building her up to be the leader of the Thunderbolts, you look at this and you go, oh man, Olivia should be running that team. That would be way better of kind of a character to formation. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it seemed confused. Are they commentating on old age? Are they commentating on kind of racism? Are they wanting to do a spy thriller? Is it meant to be kind of superhero shenanigans? I did appreciate that the quipping and some of the Marvel humor was noticeably lower in this. I did like that. Um, a few horror elements. It seemed to have a lot that it was trying to pull off. The Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, and his wife scenes, to the reveal that he married a Skrull and had learned to have a relationship with her, and they all of that. Um, okay, I mean it was fine as a backdrop. I think as a spy thriller with that as a subplot, it's not bad, but that got a lot of airtime as it went on. It felt like the show wanted to veer more into that territory, and I don't blame it. It's cheaper for them to do that. But that part was nice. It just got too much going on with it. I think that having kind of Nick Fury have to go solve something and have it be a tense spy thriller is a good idea. It just, they need to kind of they need to stick the landing a little bit better. I don't know. I found it was okay. Better than the thing is, you start immediately going to what is it better than? And for me, definitely better than She-Hulk. I think it flowed better. Better than Miss Marvel. Better than Moon Knight for me. Better than, quite frankly, a lot of the Marvel series. I would say that if you're looking at Captain America and the Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think this was a more enjoyable thing to watch than that. I did like, Don Cheadle being a prick's shield or a Skrull agent, a spy, was entertaining. It actually gave that character a little bit more something interesting to do. I don't know. I've seen a lot of the complaints are, hey, this this it didn't resolve well enough. Hey, now the president's got vigilantes out there just killing Skrulls randomly. Will this ever be picked up on? I mean, there's a lot of speculation. A lot of the little seeds that were laid in the show will just never be referenced again. Maybe. Why not? Is there still a machine, somewhere in Russia that has the DNA of all the Avengers in there? I mean, the other one was, I remember there was a bunch of articles that I looked at that said, how irresponsible is Nick Fury for going and collecting the DNA of the Avengers? I mean, this is completely out of character. What? This is completely in character for how Fury has been kind of uncovered and revealed. That's absurd. But in terms of Marvel shows, I think this has been one of the better. I think Loki was probably better for me, at least in what I in watching it. But I don't mind. Now, did it cost too much? Sounds like it, and that sucks. And I fully admit, some of you will disagree hard with this take, but please understand from my perspective, it had been sold to me as the worst show ever, the absolute worst, bottom of the barrel Marvel show. And I'm sorry. In terms of something that kind of flowed along, I think it bounced to move along a lot better than than Miss Marvel or She-Hulk did. And there are definitely some big flaws, like all the ones I mentioned, and there are some parts where it's just kind of confused why they shot it that way. But I also think you get acting talent helps, and when you have a show with Sam Jackson doing, he's kind of does different things, but when he wants to put on a good performance, he does, and he did. I think Kingsley is a solid actor who did a good job. Ben Middleton is Olivia Colman. You've got some talent in this show, and so and by and large they are allowed to kind of do some things. I think Ben Middleton was wasted quite a bit, and Martin Freeman showed up for a heartbeat, but there was just some good talent in the show, and it came through. Again, to me, I think you could have removed Emilia Clarke completely, and I don't know where her character goes now. She's one of the most powerful characters in the universe, seemingly out of nowhere. So that's probably got to get resolved at some point. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what you do with her, and in many ways, I think in looking at it, she winds up being more of a distraction than anything else. But there you go. We wanted the Mother of Dragons to be the Super Skrull, I guess. So, All right, let me know your thoughts. Love it, hate it, I'm crazy. All those things are fine. And thanks for listening.